Imagine this. You wake up in the morning, buy a cup of coffee, check your phone, go to work, pay rent, maybe save a little money, and dream about becoming rich one day. But have you ever wondered who decides the price of that coffee you just bought? Why some countries are incredibly rich while others struggle? And why the money in your pocket slowly becomes less valuable every year? Give me a few minutes and I'll explain the entire story of economics. Economics actually starts with a very simple problem. The world has limited resources, but human wants are unlimited. There is only a certain amount of land, food, water, time, and energy. But humans always want more better houses, faster phones, bigger cars, more comfort, and more wealth. Because of this mismatch between limited resources and unlimited desires, people must constantly make choices. If you spend money on a new phone, maybe you can't travel that month. If a government spends billions on the military, it might have less money for education or healthcare. This basic situation is called scarcity, and it forces every person, company, and government on Earth to decide how to use what they have. Now imagine a market where people are trying to buy something popular, like a new smartphone. If 100 people want that phone, but only 10 phones are available, everyone starts competing to buy it. The price rises because demand is higher than supply. But if thousands of phones are available and only a few people want them, the company has to lower the price to sell them. This simple interaction between supply and demand silently controls most prices in the world. It decides how much food costs, how expensive houses are, how much fuel you pay for, and even how much salary people earn. Your salary is also influenced by this invisible system. If your skill is rare and only a few people in the world can do it, companies will compete to hire you and pay higher wages. But if millions of people can do the same job, salaries usually stay low because companies have many options. In many ways, the job market itself is just another version of supply and demand. Now zoom out from individuals to entire countries. Countries earn money by producing goods and services. Most economies are built on three major pillars. The first is agriculture, which includes farming, fishing, and natural resources. The second is industry, which includes factories, construction, and manufacturing products. The third is services, which includes technology, banking, tourism, healthcare, and education. Different countries grow rich in different ways. For example, China transformed its economy by becoming the manufacturing hub of the world. Huge factories there produce everything from electronics to clothing. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia built enormous wealth, mainly from its oil reserves. On the other hand, India has been rapidly growing because of its service sector, technology industry, and digital economy. Every nation finds its own path based on its resources, population, and strategy. But there is another powerful player behind the scenes: banks and governments. Many people think governments simply print money whenever they want. In reality, controlling money in an economy is a delicate balancing act. Central banks regulate how much money flows through the system. In India, this responsibility belongs to the Reserve Bank of India. One of the main tools they use is interest rates. When interest rates are low, borrowing money becomes cheaper. Businesses take loans to build factories, people buy homes, and companies invest in growth. This increases economic activity. But if too much money circulates too quickly, prices can start rising uncontrollably. To slow things down, central banks increase interest rates. Borrowing becomes expensive, spending decreases, and the economy cools down. This constant balancing act tries to keep growth steady without letting inflation get out of control. Speaking of inflation, it is one of the most noticeable effects of economics in everyday life. Think back 10 years. Many things were much cheaper than they are today. Food, rent, transportation, almost everything costs more now. Inflation happens when prices across the economy rise over time. Sometimes this occurs because demand is very strong. Sometimes it happens because production costs increase. And sometimes it happens because too much money enters the economy. Whatever the reason, inflation slowly reduces the purchasing power of money. The same amount of money buys fewer things in the future. That is why many people choose not just to save money, but also to invest it. Investments such as businesses, stocks, or real estate can grow faster than inflation. helping people protect and increase their wealth over time. But economics doesn't stop at national borders. Today, the world's economies are deeply connected. Trade links countries together in a complex web. A shortage of oil in one region can raise fuel prices worldwide. A financial crisis in one country can affect stock markets everywhere. Even wars can influence global prices. For example, the conflict involving Russia and Ukraine disrupted energy supplies and food exports, causing ripple effects across many economies. This shows how global economics behaves like a chain of dominoes. When one falls, others are affected. At the same time, countries measure their economic strength using something called gross domestic product, or GDP. It represents the total value of goods and services produced within a country during a year. Think of it like a scoreboard that shows how large and active an economy is. The largest economy in the world today is the United States, followed by rapidly growing giants like China. Economies such as India are also expanding quickly and climbing global rankings. However, GDP alone does not measure happiness or equality. Some countries may have strong economies, but still face challenges like poverty or income inequality. When you step back and look at the bigger picture, economics is not just about money, markets, or numbers. At its core, economics is about human behavior. It studies how people make decisions, how societies allocate resources, how businesses compete, and how governments manage growth. It explains why certain countries become powerful while others struggle to develop. It explains why some industries grow rapidly while others decline. And the most interesting part is that every single person on Earth is connected to this system. Every time you buy something, save money, start a business, or choose a job, you are participating in the global economy. So, the next time you hear news about inflation, stock markets, rising fuel prices, or economic growth, remember that these are not just abstract numbers on television. They are the result of billions of daily decisions made by people all over the world. In a way, the global economy is like a giant living system built from human choices. And whether we realize it or not, every one of us is helping shape it every single day. Welcome to D-Block. It's not conspiracy, just reality.